Hey, what's going on, Soulmates? Soulkeeper Comics Media and Memorabilia here, and I want to hit you guys up with some thoughts about the new Marvel Legends 3.75-inch action figures that were revealed on the Hasbro Pulsecon stream. And I'm having some mixed feelings about these guys, Soulmates. I really like the Wolverine figure, first off. That figure I think is absolutely great. I think that it's one of the best figures in the entire line that they've made. This sculpt appears to be completely new. You can tell because it has a much smaller frame than all the other action figures. I love that they've gotten all the details on Wolverine's costume down. The gloves look right, they've even sculpted on the pants, and the belt is there and it's sculpted on. The snarl on Wolverine's face looks absolutely perfect, and his boots are just very nice too. I don't mind the slash marks that they painted on his costume here, because on figures like this at this price point, there's a balancing act between too little sculpt detail and just enough sculpt detail, and I think that they've hit that balance perfectly on this Wolverine figure. They've even got the little bulbs for his claws on his gloves, and it looks right, and the folds on his gloves and the folds on his trunks look good too, and even his shoulder pads. This is an S-tier 3.75-inch Marvel Legends figure. And before we get into Phoenix, the figure that comes with Wolverine in this multi-pack, I want to talk about the other figures that were revealed to be part of a new wave coming in 2022. And the figure that I like most out of the three that were revealed is Venom. This figure reminds me very much of Todd McFarlane's art. He's big and bulky, and he doesn't have all the slime and the long tongue and the crazy teeth and everything. You just see his teeth. You don't see any Eric Larson or any Mark Bagley on this figure. This is all Todd McFarlane here, and he looks great. This is also a new sculpt that we're seeing on Venom, and as you guys know, I really like it when that happens. He's got big, bulky arms, big, bulky legs. You can really see the bodybuilder in Venom here. Besides Venom, there are two other figures that have been revealed in the upcoming wave with him. The first of which is Falcon, and I'm a little on the fence with Falcon because I kind of like him, but I'm also not too fond of the way they've made him. I like the fact that they've included Red Wing with Falcon, and I also really like that he has his wings on his back, which is to be expected because it is a Falcon action figure, right? But then you look at Falcon and his costume is kind of just painted on. And with a costume that reveals some skin, I think it's more appropriate to sculpt a little indentation to indicate that the costume is a separate piece of material. And then the last figure that appears to be included in the wave with Venom and Falcon is Mr. Fantastic, aka Reed Richards, and this one is really disappointing for me. It would be so much better if we had something that embodied Mr. Fantastic's powers and the Invisible Woman's powers. This is where I want to get into a little bit of a discussion about what I think a line like this ought to be. Would I like to see some kind of action feature on a line like this? Maybe. It doesn't have to be, but if they did it, I would absolutely love that. But what I really envision for a line like this is just 5 points of articulation, neck, shoulders, hips. That's really all you need, and then I would like to see an iconic pose for each of these figures that is representative of something they've done in the comics somewhere. Last but not least, I would like to see an appropriate amount of details on these figures. Not too many details, you don't have to overload it, but I would like to see the right details, such as Captain America's chainmail on his chest and his shoulders. If you support what I do, please click subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss a single video of mine when it comes out. And if you want to hang out with me and my soulmates, I stream live on Twitch Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If all that happened, I think that these figures would be a much better value for the price tag, and I think that we would all be able to get a lot more excited about them than personally I am. The last figure to be revealed among these is Phoenix, who is the other figure in the X-Men multi-pack with Wolverine. And this is where I want to get into another discussion, this time about the women action figures and the quality of them. The quality of the women action figures in the Marvel Legends 3.75-inch line is very poor. All 5 women action figures to date use the same body. They have 2 pairs of legs, and they're all wearing go-go boots. Even characters like Elektra and the Invisible Woman, who wear flats. They don't wear high heels. All of the women have the same arms, and a couple of them share the same head. Both Elektra and the Invisible Woman share the same face. The only thing that's changed on them is the hairstyle, and I can't tell, but I think Phoenix might share the same face, too. 3 of the figures use the same sash. Carol Danvers, aka Miss Marvel, had a sash in Wave 1 that has been reused on both Elektra and now Phoenix. Phoenix wore a sash in the comics, but she did not wear a circular clip on it like is depicted on the packaging. In the comics, she wore a clip that looked like her Phoenix emblem. Elektra wears the same sash, but to my knowledge she has never worn a sash in the comics. She's most famously been depicted as wearing a loincloth, but also she's been depicted as wearing a belt that's tied around her waist that flows very loosely off to her side. There's also a little bit of an elephant in the room in that each wave only has one woman, when each wave should be half women. This is what I'm talking about when I say that the quality of women action figures really needs to increase across the board. All the characters are wearing go-go boots, even the ones that never wear go-go boots, or any kind of high heel for that matter. And each woman here in this line looks the same. It's giving off the vibe that Hasbro seems to think women are a monolith or something like that, or an afterthought. And that's really uncomfortable for me. I look at this line and I kind of cringe a little bit every time I see a new women action figure. It bothers me to see so little effort put into them. She-Hulk, one of my favorite characters of all time. I'm afraid if they release her, they're going to give her go-go boots and use the exact same body that they've used for every other woman, because why not, right? This line feels like a step backwards for women action figures, and I can't really interpret it any other way. 20 years ago, even 30 years ago, it was pretty slim pickings then for women action figures, but at least when you got one, it was reasonably accurate to the character, and they didn't put them all in go-go boots. So needless to say, soulmates, when I look at Phoenix, she's exactly just like all the other women action figures, so there's really no reason to talk about her, because same figure. Well, soulmates, what do you think about these new Marvel Legends 3.75-inch action figures? Do you like them? Do you hate them? Are you ambivalent about them? Do you collect them? Or do you just skip them? And are you bothered by the lack of women action figures, as well as the poor quality of them? I don't know, guys. Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. If you support what I do, please click subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss a single video of mine when it comes out. And if you want to hang out with me and my soulmates, I stream live on Twitch Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be back again soon with some more thoughts about new comic book toy releases. And until then, with love from me to you, bye-bye.